just had a very good game on Lee Sin, even if they didn't win. So keep the comfort on the rookies, you know, keep them as comfortable as possible. Oh, is it going to be the first one?
Oh, dear.
This could just be Faker having a bit of fun, but it's locked in.
They lock it in. There we go. Ziggs and Zyra. Bot lane for SKT potentially.
So are we excited, or are we the first to be like, really, SKT? You're gonna do this to us?
Oh, I'm excited.
And if we do see, his most played this season solo queue was the Singe. We saw some great
there we
Singe
go.
play.
Locked in.
Now Singe does really well against Poppy and Nautilus. So does that mean we see a carry from Huni? Because sure, Singe does well against tanks, but there are a lot of top lane champions that can dominate a Singe.
Well, right now the hover is over the Nautilus. Could see him just go for that.
So Nautilus is the better of the two options between Poppy and the Singe, just because he has more AoE clear. Just walks up, E's, can also W minions. He has more options. He also has the hook to hook into turret.
Oh,
Katarina!
buddy, there we go. Made it through the draft. It will be picked up. So, man, what a treat. SKT.
Are they just going to pick a Riven or something crazy here? They could go for a full style comp because they need...
oh, man.
A tank makes more sense.
I don't think I've been more excited for a draft than this right now, Papa Smithy. Ziggs in the bottom lane for Bang, Katarina in mid for Faker. We've seen his highlight clips making it to the top of Reddit, his 1v2 kills in the mid lane. It will be Poppy picked up for Huni, so not going to see a carry coming out for him. There's already so much damage on the side of SKT. They need a tanky front line, so Huni, the onus is on him, and he takes up the mantle. But now, where do you go if you're Jin Air in the mid lane up against this Katarina?
Now, the comfort pick for Kuzan would be the Lissandra, who's still playing in solo queue, and it is locked in. Okay, so they go for the Lissandra. Very, very difficult to get the kill on Lissandra. Also a good lane to gank.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here, SKT, pulling out all the stops. Rengar for Peanut, Faker on Katarina, and the Ziggs for Bang. Quite the oppressive bottom lane, and confusingly enough, Jin Air still opted into that melee support of Tom Kench, so you have to expect that things are going to be rough for Snowflower and Teddy in the bottom side of the map. A bit of invasion coming through from SKT. They are spotted out by that ward, but I don't think there's much that Umti and Ikssu can do about it. They will just be backing off, so SKT going to get an early start, and Umti going to be a little bit behind.
So the reason why this really works for SKT is because you know that SKT will have the pushing advantage in bot if they want it. So if you invade the top side, suddenly, unless Lee Sin starts on the enemy red buff, the lane will be pushed for SKT. You won't be able to get the bot lane support to come and help you, and you can't steal away the red buff. So you can't play vertically if you know for sure SKT are going to have a pushing advantage. And that's why it's smart for Umti to just rush to the enemy red, because if you don't take it first buff, it's not going to be available.
Yeah. So he does adapt to the situation as best as possible. Now we'll be moving over towards those Krugs. See that Deadly Flourish not going to connect from Teddy. They will try to fire back and out-push the pushers. Bang. Gonna take him a little bit. Has to get a couple points into that queue before he's really going to be able to clear out these back waves.
Now, they could have actually won the pushing war here because it'd just be two ranged auto attackers and also AoE from the Ziggs, but because they know the enemy has information that the SKT jungler is topside, they have to respect the Lee Sin going for a level 2 or a level 3 gank bot, so they have to kind of just play a bit more defensively than you would expect at level 1. But as you say, a few more levels, a bit more information on the enemy jungler's pathing, and they'll be pushed up right under the turret of Jin Air.
Yeah, but even up underneath that turret, Bang, gonna be fine. So last hit has that short fuse passive to really get those big hits in, so he'll be all right for the time being. Meanwhile, some trades up in top. Ikssu gets a toss on Huni. Goes quite low. Already has chugged up a lot of those charges in the refillable potion. Starting off with the Dark Seal, I think we know exactly where that build's going to go.
Yeah, it's been crowned the Dank Seal build because you don't build one of them, Achilleos. They actually don't have a unique passive. So given that a lot of Singed power is from regeneration early, something like Corrupting Potion double, triple Dark Seal has become the standard because you get that ult. Suddenly you have those extra mana regen, extra health regen, and every Dark Seal gives you 25% bonus regeneration. Suddenly, 75% on what is a very high base number from the ult. And it doesn't matter how much harass you're taking, you're going to regen through it.
Yeah. You can see Ikssu already has gone back, burned out the teleport to get back into the lane so he can keep inching ahead in the CS, but double Dark Seal is the start. We'll see if he wants to go all the way for the third one, or if he'll start opting into some other build items. Needs to connect onto Teddy, who's quite low. Flowers there from Snowflower to keep him alive, but otherwise, not too much heavy trading in the bottom side of the map.
I welcome this Singed meta that may be coming through. The Singed Overlords from Korea.
When's the last time we really had a Singed meta?
It was Season 2.
I was going to say, it's been quite some time.
One of the most famous Singed of all time is Shy, who, of course, is on the bench for the Rocksiders. We didn't see him yesterday. We also have Flame, who played some Singed in his day. But the reason why he's there is that standard lanes suddenly Singed, famously useless in a 1v2, but quite good in some standard lane matchups. And then when the tanks come in, if they don't have a lot of wave clear, the moment you can actually get through the turret, start proxying waves, guarantee vision and so much accountability of the enemy top laner, and then just go into a standard tank build, Singed becomes a very tempting pick.
See how it's going to play out here for Ikssu. A very pokey performance on that Kled in game 1. Faker looking to try to stop the recall of Kuzan. Walks up a little bit, and what do you know? He is able to cancel that channel. Going to be suffering a bit in CS, as you would expect, being a basically melee champion with that Katarina.
Mid party.
Oh boy. It's the game of try to kill Faker, which will pass forward, tries to get onto him. They drop the Frozen Tomb, and he gets tossed back. They find the first blood, goes over to Ikssu. Nicely done, and now Peanut in a rough spot as Snowflower has wandered his way up to the top. Burns the flash, root does come out onto Snowflower. That's going to keep Peanut alive, and the Sonic Wave barely not going to connect. But nicely done. Take 3 people to roam down to mid. They come up with the first blood.
Yeah, the communication there, I guess, wasn't on point from SKT, or Faker just disrespected with his positioning. Could have taken Cleanse, but in general it feels like to lane the Katarina effectively, and obviously to get that first reset, you often itemize it, you often take the Ignite and help him in that scenario. Keeps his flash, so at least the wraparound ganks won't be as strong, but First Blood Jin Air, good start for them.
Yep. Kicking things off quite nicely, especially with that CS lead that is really growing for Kuzan now, 52-33. Faker will pick up a good amount here.
But he's forced into a really rough itemization also. He rushes the Merc Treads so that he doesn't have a repeat where, because of the longer CC duration, Singed could just ghost in and get the flip. Negatron would almost always be the start into finishing up the Gunblade, but feels like need to stop that duration of the first CC. So probably a pretty smart heads-up choice, but it's a lot of gold to spend. 1,200 gold instead of just the 720 for the Negatron means that the damage is just going to be that much more delayed from Faker.
Yeah, so likely just going to be sitting back, trying to farm him as much as possible. And oh boy, Peanut. He gets found out. Umte jumping in, takes him out quite swiftly with a Dragon's Rage.
Umte's got something about him. He's got some swagger, Achilles.
Yeah, when it shows, and definitely showed it right there. Bang going low. Ooh, Teddy stuck on top of that minefield.
Looking at the experience, only half experience to level 6 for Ziggs, so wasn't able to just clear the backline and kill him with ultimate. Iksu's not done, just getting in some really aggressive wards, and this is what happens in Poppy versus Singed. Singed clears the wave, Poppy's under turret, and Singed can go wherever he wants on the map, and if your jungler's losing, Rengar just got solo killed by the enemy jungler, no one's there to stop that Singed from being accountable. And that lack of accountability might allow Jin Air to just have one-way traffic in the early game.
Yeah, so far so good. 1,000 gold up, just 8 minutes in. SKT have not been able to find any advantageous trades, really. Ikssu going in trying to...
That change wasn't even in there. That change was 2 years ago when they made it auto-laugh when you flip. Last time Singed was in the meta, more than 2 years ago.
Yep. But what a good, nice, subtle change it is. But, I mean, you can see Ikssu just runs up, clears the wave, immediately starts roaming down. He's getting vision inside the jungle of SKT. He's playing this really well.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think SKT should have gone all in, Achilles. They needed a carry in top as well to actually be able to take advantage of the Singed, because they've gone for a snowball mid laner in the Katarina that's a riskier choice, and then they go for Poppy to just lose lane against Singed. If it was someone who could have kill pressure on Singed, less of these variables would have to come together for SKT to get ahead. But actually going for the reliable tank in the late game has cost them in the early game pretty dearly.
So who would, well, I might have to hold that thought actually. Wolf gonna get locked down, flashes away from the deadly flourish, but that's gonna be the Ring of Frost connecting from Kuzan, and they find both kills. Big bomb comes out from Bang, trying to find a kill, jumping over the wall, getting away from the W, but Bang's able to finish him off with a Q and an auto attack, making use of that short fuse passive. Looks like Kuzan might be able to wander his way out. Needs a blast cone over the wall. And yeah, he will be suiciding inside the base of SK Telecom. So nice execute from him. And Jin Air, a really good spot.
That's really well put together there from Jin Air. Poppy was the first one to react, so multiple members had to die, but only one kill pressure over. This is Kuzan on a champion he has always been strong on. He has always looked like a top Lissandra. And the reason why I especially liked it here is that he could take teleport, and suddenly now the overextended bot lane has to respect 2 teleports. Is it Singed? Is it Lissandra? Suddenly more risky for Ziggs and Zyra to play their game. And while it wasn't the teleport that secured that kill, the teleport's up for the next time the ult is available.
Yeah. Now, something I did want to ask you before that fight broke out was, I mean, you talk about Huni, you know, should have come in, should have played, you know, a more aggressive top laner. What would you have liked to have seen from him if he had picked a more carry-oriented style top laner?
It just needs to be something punishing. A lot of lanes lose early, like something like a Fiora. If you get ult, then you have a bit more. If you have Tiamat ult, even then, if Singed is far enough ahead, you won't be able to chase them down, so Fiora is an option. Something like a Riven just dominates Singed, but would have been all in on laning phase, and game goes even, you get outscaled. So I just feel that they're losing a lot from Singed having a lot of free mobility, and Rengar, sure, can get ahead. Sure, the respect is there for the power of this pick, but when Rengar starts to lose trades straight up to the Lee Sin, there's a couple of headaches here that SKT kind of have to work their way through before they can resume normal business.
Sure. Well, looks like we had a slight little issue inside the booth of our Jin Air. I think it might have been an audio problem, but have that taken care of. Straight back into the game. Not going to waste any time. So 1,000 gold still in the lead. Is Jin Air been maintaining that for about 3 minutes or so now, and they have since picked up a couple more kills. Turret damage hasn't been much of a factor for either side. Peanut jumps forward, gets onto Snowflower, lands the stun there, or the root rather, and Snowflower, he's going to have to flash out. You can see Kuzan throwing that Glacial Path back up the wall, but Faker, he's going to go in, pops the Death Blossom, comes up with a kill, Death Lotus rather, and they will take him down. 2 kills picked up as Peanut is able to finish off Kuzan. He throws out the Sonic Wave, would be able to finish off Peanut perhaps, but it's a little bit too risky. Now it's going to be that curtain call coming through. Wolf having to body block these last couple shots. Is able to do so. No bullet bending coming up for Teddy. Gets popped into the minefield. There we go. Flashes away. Will keep himself alive for now. Deadly Flourish to just slow up Bang. But nicely played by Teddy to keep himself alive. But SKT, they're able to pick up 2 more kills.
Yeah, the 4v4 actually worked really well for SKT. Faker invested a lot. Didn't have to ignite. Got the first kill. Suddenly everyone from Jin Air has to run away. I thought Jin Air done just enough to get away. Specifically Kuzan, Glacial Path onto an invisible Rengar, then escaping. But first kill comes out. 2 kills back for SKT. And now we're all even. In fact, SKT just slightly ahead.
Yeah, Death Lotus, not Death Blossom. That was my game I was casting last night. Have to make that
Wait,
distinction.
which Riot Games title is that, sorry?
It's Riot Game.
Oh, okay. Mechs versus Minions, is that the one?
We'll see. There's got to be another game on the horizon, so I'm excited to see what that might be. Who knows when that'll happen, though. But for now, we have some good old League of Legends.
Just to be clear, we have no inside information.
Oh,
on that. You're not being clever. You're just being a play-by-play caster. You don't know.
Yeah, oh no. I'm just saying it's bound.
I don't want to get any messages from Riot Games, Achilleos.
Sure. I think that it will happen. I have no clue.
I'll just stick with the last part of that conversation.
All right. Anyway. Jin Air slipping up a little bit now. The gold made even by SKT after that quite nice play. Snowflower, he's going to get rooted up. They want to go in. Peanut jumping in. Great health does come through. Snowflower alive for the time being, but Peanut is able to finish him off. Bang, running for his life. Jukes out on the deadly flourish. Through comes through into Ote. Bang, he doesn't go down, and they pick up the kill. A double kill for Peanut. Throws out the ultimate to clear out the wave. Can they get a push on the tower? We'll have to wait and see, but my God, Bang played that to a T.
And just Snowflower can't get down any wards to actually get benefit out of Kuzan's teleport. He had to run down because there wasn't a ward that was in a really good spot to be able to react. Snowflower goes down. This game hasn't entirely planned out like we expected, but SKT wrestling back momentum, and even with Singed having a fun old time in top, Poppy's keeping up in CS. Singed hasn't been able to roam to mid and make the kind of plays he did in the early game. Suddenly, breathing room for SKT.
Oh, for sure. One kill on to Bang there, 1-0-2. And still slightly down in CS, but I think it's going to turn around for him. Interesting that he's going for the Tear of the Goddess on Ziggs. Haven't seen a whole lot of that in the Ziggs bottom builds.
When Lost Chapter isn't enough mana regen for you, you need a Tear apparently. You're right, that is a new adaptation. I noticed it as well. It seemed extra risky just because they were losing the early game and they're not buying early power.
Uh-oh, Peanut.
This is risky for Peanut.
Oh, boy. Yeah, he's going to get locked down. Frozen Tombs comes out. Not going to be able to live.
He even had the...
will finish him off. Faker, he goes for it. Throws out the Death Lotus. Gets a lot of damage on the Oopsie. Follows him over the wall with the Blast Cone. The Ignite is ticking. Throws out the Bouncing Blade. Finishes him off. Nicely played by Faker. And now the roam down from Huni. Wolf joining the squad. They take down Kuzan, and things are just starting to unravel ever so steadily for Janair.
And you can instantly see how the experience for Faker is put into benefit. Bang in the bot lane, though.
Oh, yeah, he's going to knock him back with the Satchel Charge, throws out the ultimate, flashes to the other side, and here comes Huni, knocks two up with the Keeper's Verdict. Devour coming through from Snowflower onto Ikssu, but Wolf is on the roam down. Going to try to lock them up with her flashes forward, finds Ikssu, the exhaust comes out, throws out a massive ultimate, will pop him up, stun into the wall on Teddy by Huni. Faker coming around the backside. Can he get the tumble? No, he won't. The kill goes over to Bang, but that's three more picked up for SKT, plus the first brick gold coming through. They have blown this game wide open in a matter of minutes.
Janair had the lid on the SKT Chaos in the early game, but one Rengar ult into a second. Suddenly, Chaos reigns supreme. Faker's able to walk down, and still nowhere for Lissandra to really become involved in this fight, and that's really costing Janair Green Wings.
I mean, fantastic response by Huni as well, immediately channeling the teleport when they saw that Abyssal Voyage.
To Lissandra's credit, she was dead this time.
Sure.
She had been picked off, but Faker very smart in his roam, coming around the back. You just can't push up lanes when your mid laner with teleport is dead. Ikssu's able to get there, but doesn't have any impact. There goes the bot lane turret, and now the Ziggs bot cancer spreads to mid lane.
We'll see how quickly he can knock down this turret. Kuzan does have some pretty reliable wave clears, so might be a bit more difficult to get in underneath of that one.
Reliable is true, but it's because it takes 2Q that's actually quite delayed wave clear. We don't have a Victor that just instant kills the backline. It takes a bit of time for that Lissandra as Peanut goes again, but this time Tom Kench does his job.
Yeah, he's ready to keep his AD carry alive, so Peanut won't even be getting any damage in onto Teddy. We'll make it out safely, and we'll just have to wait a little bit longer for Peanut to get that cooldown back up and try again.
There was so much breathing room for Janair early. Those two early kills, it was 2-0 at one point, but Faker forced into Merc Treads. Suddenly, he's ahead of the build curve. Even got some stacks on his Dark Seal.
Yeah, it's up to 8 right now. Gunblade was completed, has the Fiendish Codex coming through. See where he wants to go with that one. If he wants to go straight for a Zhonya's Hourglass. Change things up a little bit.
A lot of the power from that newly reworked Katarina is in the passive. Every time you catch one of those daggers, you do the AoE that used to be the W. And the fact that as it goes on, I believe level 16, it's 100% AD and AP. It's funny that the ratios there, actually the kick in the late game, is where a lot of the power from the Katarina is. And so late game damage is going to be certainly fearsome from Faker. Should also talk about the Ziggs bot that we've, touched on lightly. It is a very common pick. It does have a high win rate, but it's kind of a symptom of both standard lanes and how the meta is right now. AD carry itemization has been much maligned. A lot of people talk about the power level of AD carries, you think about what AD carry is supposed to do. Push waves, and it's kill turrets. And guess what? Ziggs pushes waves damn fast. He kills turrets, in fact, executes them. So you win that turret war. So if there's any sort of 3 people pushing top, 3 pushing bot, Ziggs is always going to win that trade. And then, sure, in the late game, you don't have as much physical auto attack damage, but how often do we see these AD carries get to 4 or 5 items? Not much in the current meta. So Lichbane Ziggs suddenly does everything you need from an AD carry and has a stronger laning phase than most.
Yeah. And you can see the Lichbane is going to be the next item coming through, or at least that Sheen is picked up for him. So Bang going to be looking to get a kill onto this mid-tier 1 tower. Hasn't gotten too much alone time. I think it's down to about half HP. So if you could get, a short fuse hit in with that Sheen, we'll knock it very close into that execute range from the satchel charge.
It's good that you mentioned the satchel charge execute range. People talk about Ziggs bot and they're like, wait, this change has been in there for quite a long time. Why are people only really noticing it now? The other freedom you have in bot lane is that you don't necessarily need to max E second. You can max the satchel second and have that higher threshold. We moused over Bang a second ago. It actually feels like he's going very much for the mid lane build. He has tier. He's actually maxing E second, I believe, which is atypical for Ziggs mid. But you can get that threshold higher by maxing W second. And when you have someone like a Zyra to help you push, there isn't that same need to have the 5 points in the minefield at level 12 or 13.
See, we'll be just clearing out the wave. Still can't push up comfortably. Didn't really know where was. Now shows himself in mid. But looks like it's just going to be Bang sticking around for a while. Hooney's been handling this top lane fairly well, even in CS. So has really kind of put a halt to the clear and roam that Ikssu was showing off at the beginning of the game, getting that first kill on Faker, getting that vision in the jungle of SK Telecom. Hasn't really had that freedom.
Ziggs trying to fish for something here.
Faker jukes back. Teddy not going to get rooted up. Taking that much damage. Kirkball's opened up, and here comes the rest of Jin Air. Root does land onto Teleport coming through Moody right into the thick of things. Ikssu getting locked up, and Bang finds the first kill. He will go down, throws out the bomb, only gets a little bit of damage on the Snowflower. Comes up with a double kill, exits down through the jungle of SK Telecom, and I think they just have to peel back. Several members of Jin Air are low, but without Bang, without Wolf, it's going to be risky. Hooney, he's willing to take that risk. Keeper's Verdict not going to connect, but Faker goes for it, finds a kill, takes out the Jin. Can he find a kill into Oopty? Jumps back over the wall with the Shun Bow, keeps himself alive for now. Snowflower now in a really rough spot, pops the shield, but it's just not going to be enough. The Bouncing Blade from Faker will pick up yet another one, a near ace for SK Telecom over Jin Air, 14-8 on the board, and you have to think that the turret's going to be going down as well.
Faker's first ever competitive game on Katarina didn't start off the best, got first blooded, but suddenly those kills come a-rolling, Achilles.
Oh.
Jin Air going to try and recommit here.
They're not done yet, but 3 members are still dead. Ikssu coming in, a bit overzealous by him. Kuzan was there to back him up, but didn't even have the Frozen Tomb. So burns out the teleport, and that's just going to give an earlier advantage over to Hooney.
Yeah, not sure about the shot call there. They didn't have the damage realistically take someone down. We're going to see the replay. Given where the game was at, this went pretty well for Jin Air. Ikssu sidesteps the root, able to get in the backline. They kill Bang early. It's a 1-for-1 with Singed. And then a second kill goes down. You're like, all right, Jin Air got this. Important thing to note is that Teddy, full health, free hitting, doing just fine. At this point, Jin Air have won the fight. It's SKT who make the smart play. Teddy stands next to a wall, gets slammed in, gets chunked out, and Faker, even without ult, has enough damage to take him down. Teddy alive gorgeous. And Teddy dead. That's the difference in a won and lost team fight for Jin Air Green Wings. And very opportunistic from Hooney, but he was the real star of that fight.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we could very well see Hooney coming up with yet another MVP. Bang, though, all by himself in the top lane, throws out the bomb. He's just going to tickle these members of Jin Air, and he will go down quite swiftly. Teddy able to find the kill, so just a little bit of overextension there
really
from
sure
Bang.
How he didn't catch any of the Jin Air members, given all the wards are on the map, but
I don't really know.
Yeah,
I mean, the Abyssal Voyage definitely does help out.
Sure.
But still, odd positioning from Bang, and he does pay for it. But that's just a consolation prize after that last fight, taking down the Ziggs. It'll elongate the lifespan of that turret in the top lane, but Faker is going to start knocking down the rest of its HP. Might actually be able to take it. Nope. Arrival of Teddy And the mystery of wondering where the rest of Jin Air was is enough to dissuade him.
They do have some very advanced vision. They actually have a pink sticking right next to the inner turret of Jin Air. So
whoa, that's not a pink anymore.
That's true. A control ward, my apologies. I see a ward that's not a green ward, which also I guess doesn't exist either. We're stealth and control now. We sound like expansion packs for a board game.
Yeah.
SKT just pushing out. Their Baron speed is certainly on the lower end compared to some of the previous team comps we've seen. Don't have a Kha'Zix this time.
I mean, Riot does have a board game. Those could be the expansion packs for that.
There's ideas.
Okay, I can call them Riot games.
Okay.
All right. I was being unfair. Faker going in as the Death Lotus gets down to about half HP, dodges out on the Sonic Wave and the Deadly Flourish. He's going to get caught by those current call shots, but Teddy, he's low. Here comes Peanut in underneath the turret. Doesn't matter if he's exhausted, still comes up with a kill. The turret is going to go down. Bang finishes that one off quite swiftly. Meanwhile, Huni splitting in the bot, going to be looking for a tier 2.
Yeah, the moment that Ikssu has to become accountable to the rest of his team is when you know that things are kind of quickly falling apart for Jin Air. Does do very, very well in the side push, but for now, just able to pick up minion waves after already one of his members went down, as Huni gets free damage on the inner bot lane turret. Things unraveled so quickly for Jin Air. They had an even brighter start than they did in Game 1 in this game, but you give champions like Ziggs and Katarina an inch, and they take that mile.
Yep. And now things are looking pretty grim for them. 6.6 thousand ahead for SK Telecom. And it's just under 25 minutes. Baron not yet coming to contention. We've only seen one Dragon go down as well, so really different from what we saw in that first game. Guzan getting jumped on by Huni. It's a matter if she's a tank. She still does a heck of a lot of damage. That Poppy knocks down Lissandra to about half HP. So he'll have to hightail back up the lane and keep himself safe.
But map pressure exclusively on the side of SKT.
Yep. Oh, MT throws out the Dragon's Rage to try to knock Huni away. He's able to dash over on the Snowflower to keep himself alive, but he will no longer be able to contest around that Dragon. So that'll just be handed off to SK Telecom. So they'll put a second one on the board. Oh, bang! MT recalling on top of a ward. Maybe shopping, wasn't really paying attention there. Gets sniped out by the Ziggs.
Power of deep vision, Achilles. Gets you those kills, bang.
Look at that stone.
Nonchalant, the frustration
Stone cold killer.
On the side of Umti.
Look at this tower, just getting shredded down. Already has a satchel charge ready to go. One more hit. Pops it, and the turret disappears.
And the lane assignment is so perfect for SKT because no longer does Poppy have to worry about this Singed.
Nope.
Instead, you know what you have in the top, Achilles? You have a Katarina trading farm with a Singed. And that is a happy time for SKT.
It's a bad place to be in if you're Jin Air, that's for damn sure. Curtain call opened up. They're going to be trading bullets. Looks like Peanut might take the last one, or whoop, there we go. Hits him for just a paltry 409. So not going to be able to come up with too much. They do hold on to that tier 2 tower in bot, but they are just bleeding resources all over the map.
And those resources are going to the ideal recipients. We always talk about when, say, an early game AD carry is trading farm with a Vayne, you're like, well, Vayne is going to get more out of this gold he's picking up. Look in the top lane. Katarina going to put the finishing touches on a Void Staff, on the Death Cap, on whatever the next pickup is. And sure, Singed might get an extra 20, 30 MR, but the rest of the team is going to feel the brunt, and it's ideal to have this farm falling onto a no-teleport Katarina.
Yeah, I mean, 5-1-5, up just about 30 CS over Kuzan at this point. And, I mean, he was losing in CS really badly at the beginning of the game, and SKT, superior macro play coming through. Faker on Katarina. It's just all of the stars have aligned for them in this game at the moment. And it just seeming ever so unlikely that Jin Air will be able to do anything to turn this around.
And you know what the scariest thing is, Achilles? We learned that Faker is confident enough to blind pick Katarina. So suddenly...
It wasn't the first pick, but he still did blind pick it.
But the worry is that suddenly, do you have to dump a ban on Katarina too? Like, I mean, at some point, if you're on the red side, you really need some bonus bans, and I thought 5 would be enough, but another 5 might be all right.
Yeah. rough life. And I mean, this was one of the things that we, as soon as we found out that the 10-ban system was coming in, that we said, you know what, SK Telecom, this is a team that could absolutely excel with this system. Faker having an immense champion pool. Peanut, very reliable regardless of what you put him on. And then Coma, of course, best coach in the world, proven time and time again, really. So this system suits them so well, and we're seeing that displayed right here. Granted, it's against Jin Air. This is, a middle-of-the-pack team, potentially in LCK. They have been impressing today so far, but we have to see how SK Telecom is going to fare going up against, Longzhu Gaming, going up against Samsung Galaxy, KT Rolster, these big teams that everyone anticipates will be in the top 4, top 5 by the end of the season.
Well, the whispers from preseason is that SKT are the best, Kilios.
Man, what I mean, those whispers have been happening since, like, season 3.
Yeah, you say that, but there's been seasons where people are like, these guys are looking better, or like SKT starting slowly.
I mean, that was actually summer last year, so
this was definitely this is definitely a time when you'd be like, okay, put in Huni and Peanut, they're really good, but who knows how it works 5v5. The word from Scrims is it worked pretty damn well. And we're seeing it on the Rift, and it looks pretty good here too.
Yep. Well, that bomb not going to connect from Bang. Ikssu has come in with the teleport. Running his way through. Doesn't really have a target to go for. Might just have to run back down the lane, get stunned into the wall. Huni up in the front line, going to be tanking up. Peanut, he goes in, tries to get the assassination into the Kuzan. Won't be able to find it. But Faker is able to finish off the Singed. Nicely done. Peanut makes it out with his life as well. Curtain call. Comes out from Teddy. Can he find anyone, though? Bang is perfectly comfortable to sit in the front line and take up the shots.
Looking for a flash ult.
Oh, that's going to be the root coming in into the stun. Snowflower is there for the Devour to keep the Jin alive. He barely escapes with his own life. So far, just 1 kill picked up, plus the tier 2 tower. SKT, how far do they want to push this? Looks like it's going to be right there. See, of course, not going to go in on that Sonic Wave, just dashes to the side. But SK Telecom, they got what they wanted, priority of the mid and top lane, and that's going to just make taking Baron even easier.
Yeah, they lose their bot lane turret to minions as well. Only Lissandra has any semblance of wave clear to really stop Ziggs from getting an auto attack with Lichbane, and 3 of those and a W, and it's probably goodbye turrets. So the margins are pretty slim. Certainly the fat has been trimmed here.
Oh boy, flash forward on the Snowflower. They take him out before he can use the Great Health Shield. And Bang picks up yet another one, 6, 2, and 5 on the Ziggs. Been having a pretty good performance for Ziggs' debut in the bottom lane in LCK. And bomb thrown out. Teddy loses about half of his HP. He'll be all right, however. Huni coming over the wall, stuns in onto Umti. Can they take him out? Tries to get through the base gate, but just can't do it. Huni finishes him off. And SKT, they sweep through the jungle, get rid of pretty much all of the vision of Jin Air. But they say, screw it, let's not even go for the Baron. Let's come straight down the mid lane and try to take out Ikssu.
Feeling the full brunt of the gold lead. It's 12,000 gold lead for SKT. They don't really have Baron damage, but just the extra gold they have and a bit of time, they'll be able to take it down. Can always turn around for a pick.
And Jin Air, they have to know that this is happening, but they don't have a smite available for another 10 seconds on the recall. And then MT would still have to run his way over. Teddy trying to get the steal desperately with some of these shots, or at least whittle down SKT, but to no avail. Peanut smites it out, goes over to them, and you have to expect it. That was the final tool that SKT needed to finish off Jin Air and win in this nice 2-0.
Yeah, now Poppy just comfortably beats Singed in the 1v1 in the side lanes. The minions just can't be gassed down by the Singed anywhere near as easily. Just a bonus Ocean Drake on the top. Everything looking great for SK Telecom T1.
Yep, and Ikssu, even with a Zerat portal, is just not nearly annoying enough to dissuade SK Telecom from continuing their onslaught. You can see waves pretty much pushed up in every lane. Top gonna have to be moved a little bit, but for now SK Telecom gonna put their focus on the bottom lane. Wolf did go back to base, so he won't be able to rejoin for a little bit of time, but SKT is just gonna use this to try to poke out where they can. Maybe get some hits in onto the turret with Bang if he can walk up.
I mean, Ziggs just throws down. Yes. Ziggs just throws down the ultimate.
The turret's at 30%.
Katarina can posture forward. Even if the turret was being better defended, you just throw down an ult and suddenly everyone's in range of Katarina, so...
Goodbye.
Burst and a resetting assassin is always Best friends forever.
That is just filthy damage. Kuzan, is he looking for a TP spot? Looks like he might be.
Oh, Faker goes home.
Just sitting inside the base. Peanut, he's going to get kicked in. Flashes away, but it's not enough. Gets taken down. Teddy finds the kill. Bang not going to get rooted by the deadly flourish. No one had touched him before that moment. So he'll be all right. Fourth and final shot comes in. Not going to connect. And now Kuzan has come in with the teleport. Exhaust comes down immediately onto him. Bang flashing over the wall, but it's not enough. He is able to actually pick up the kill in the end to get rid of the Lysandra. But SKT losing several members, 3 going down. Huni trying to finish off Ikssu as best as he can, will be able to do so in the end. Faker not jumping over the wall. The chase onto Umti. And Huni, he's just going to keep the wave moving, try to be as much of a nuisance as possible. Pretty unkillable on the Poppy at the moment. But a little bit of sloppiness there from SKT. Maybe some just disjointed communication as Faker went with the recall.
I mean, Faker basically recalled in vision as there were still pick tools available for Jin Air, so definitely something that you expect to be ironed out. There's not going to be much on the VOD that Como and Rapidstyle have to walk through, but that was certainly atypical. Exactly, it's pretty straightforward. Just don't do that. But
Oh, Faker has to pop the Zonia Sonic Wave. Won't connect because of it. He gets devoured by Snowflower. Gets popped by Teddy. Taking him out with that shot. Now Huni, far forward, gonna have to run out here. Nice deny on the resonating strike. Looks like he might be okay. No, the flash forward Snowflower. They really want to kill him, or at least get rid of that Guardian Angel. Huni almost takes out Umti, and now here comes Peanut. A telltale sign as you hear the Rengar go into the ultimate. Gets a little bit of damage in, a smattering of it, but can't find a kill. But it's enough to keep Huni alive to make sure he doesn't lose that Guardian Angel.
If we know, probably people will learn probably at this point not to recall on wards, so no assassination from Bang that time. He's going to go and pick up blue buff. Pretty elegant with Katarina in mid. Obviously no big need for the blue buff. Means that for once Faker is denied blue by his own team.
I'm sure if he had asked for it, they would still give it to him.
That's true. They gave him Knight's Vow. Blue buff seems like just a slam dunk there.
Yeah. And working our way back towards that. Huni coming in, has that Aegis ready to go. Might be ready to complete in just a little bit more time. Teddy popping the Ghost Blade just to run back into the base. But yeah, Jin Air, really rough spot to be in. SKT have played these last couple of fights, these skirmishes, a little sloppily, but Jin Air just hasn't been able to capitalize. They haven't been able to take any objectives. There's no dragons for them. There's no turrets taken on the map. So even if Jin Air could get an ace, you know, 35 minutes, death timers are fairly long. It's not like they can win the game off of that.
There'll be a couple of aces, and it's worth pointing out that it's sloppiness in terms of disrespect rather than necessarily mechanics or 5v5 concerns.
Yeah.
In a true 5v5, they should win out, and this is going to be pretty close to one.
Yep. This big knock up with the Keeper's Verdict. Bomb from Bang will get a little bit of damage in. He's going to finish off that turret. Now the inhibitor will be in their eyes. Ikssu getting stunned into the wall. Snowflower comes in with a Devour to keep him alive. Kuzan has to dash back with the Glacial Path. Different calls opened up. Faker and Wolf are both low. If they get hit by these shots, they will go down. Fourth and final shot comes through. Oh, barely outraged by Faker. So will not fall. The inhibitor goes down, and SKT continue to bleed Jin Air dry. Ikssu even to the back line with a teleport. Has to think better of that one. Pops the Righteous Glory.
He's just being annoying.
And yeah, it might be being annoying to his own teammates at this point. Why did you teleport? He's going to get rooted, stunned into the wall. Popped up into the air by the Zyra, and it looks like he's going to go down. So Ikssu trying to be a nuisance, but it's just causing harm to Jin Air in the end.
Always a fine line between proxying a Singed and just feeding. Ikssu had some pretty good moves in the early game, but maybe the ladder is creeping in a little bit here. If you could just waste time and get out, then sure you buy time for Kuzan and the others to wave clear, but when your front line is dead, goodbye another turret.
Oh boy. Oh, nice Devour just in time by Snowflower. Stop that. Execute coming through by Bang, but that's all 3 inhibitors dead. And let's take a look at how quickly Bang will be able to knock down these inhib turrets if he can just get that auto attack in. Hasn't walked up to it yet, waiting for that mid lane wave to crash. But SKT, this is looking like the end of the series for them. Third call opened up, Kuzan goes in, locks down, Bang, will he go down? Big shield coming out from that lock-in. Gets popped, one more hit, will do it. Teddy is able to finish him off with that fourth and final front shot. Faker going into the Death Lotus, doesn't get a whole lot done. Whittles down a couple members, but still not enough.
There's the helicopter just to end things off, but see, you were talking about Ziggs reaching for that auto attack. Doesn't have the longest auto attack range. Good pick options by Jin Air, take him out, so
Needs
breathing
a
room.
rapid fire cannon.
I mean, honestly, there are worse 6 items in that kind of a situation, but once again, a bit of a reprieve for Jin Air, but probably not going to change the texture of the game at all.
Yeah. It's not looking good. Now 3 dragons here for SK Telecom. The Elder Drake spawn. Baron getting ready to come up in just 5 seconds. Jin Air, they're going to start this one, but SKT, they're waiting in the wings. This is the Hail Mary play coming through from them. Peanut jumping onto Kuzan, almost takes him out. He holds onto the Frozen Tomb. Losing some restraint there. Huni going into the pit. Elder Drake down to about half HP. Bang now coming up. Can he get in range to at least throw out a bomb? Maybe get some damage onto the members of Jin Air. You can see Kuzan going with the recall. Has the TP available. Who is going to end up with this Elder Drake? Looks like it might be SKT if they don't want to just push in and try to come up with a kill. Teddy gets popped up, gets taken out. Double kill coming through for Peanut. The bomb from Bang is going to go wide as everybody's already dead. The Elder Dragon taken out. And SK Telecom, they are set to win this game. Nexus turrets almost gone. The last one barely standing.
Yeah, Jin Air didn't have anywhere good to fight. They tried to fight an Elder Drake. Now their base being completely crushed. Last turret's going to fall soon, and maybe some members as well.
Yep, Faker just going to pad the KDA, takes out Snowflower. The Nexus is exposed. They will work their way through them, and there we have it. It's Swift 2-0. Oh, not so Swift 2-0 coming through for SKT, rather. 40 minutes and 45 for both games, but a bit of a slaughter in the second one. But still, Jin Air showing some prowess in the beginning of the game, but they let it slip through their fingers. If they had played that way against a lesser team than SKT, they very well could walk away with a win. But SKT, doesn't matter what members are on this team, seems like they will always be dominant.